All right, people, welcome back to the channel for another video here on the channel. I'm just gonna get right into the news as to why people think of Hitman Reborn anime is on its way. This comes from at WSJ_manga on Twitter, a very reputable source, which says the domain khrreborn-anime.jp was recently registered. There's no confirmation or tease about any upcoming announcements for the work, but the anime will be commemorating its 20th anniversary next year. We'll report any further information. So that's it. Them having this registered has led a lot of people to believe like there's a potential Hitman Reborn project coming in the future, and it seems like something major like an anime. I'm just throwing this out there, potentially a game, something that they need to register this new domain for. Some people are taking it a step further. Pages like this are flat out just saying Katekyo Hitman Reborn full anime remake is confirmed. This is fake. We do not have confirmation, as you just seen. It's just people are really speculating it and thinking that it's something that is very plausible that we could be getting an anime, or at least something in the future that is involving Reborn in like a major project. So if you just clicked on this video to see why people are thinking that Reborn is getting another anime, this is all we got. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe on the way out. But for anyone else that wanted more out of this conversation, I'm making the point of this video just to talk about if this does turn out to be true, what can we expect to see from this new anime? How can we expect people that haven't even seen Reborn to react to it? And a little bit of my personal thoughts on the original series, as well as this potential adaptation. And just in case you are someone that hasn't seen Reborn, this video will not contain spoilers. There's going to be some light discussion around certain things, but I won't directly spoil what happened 20 years ago at this point. So just to get started with me personally in like Reborn, I am someone that is not too high on Reborn, but I still like it. I really enjoyed the anime. I read a little bit of the manga after the anime, and then I just kind of forgot to go back to it. But Reborn is still good. It just has some things in it that makes it a little bit harder to get into the series. It also has some things that makes it harder to get through the series, like the pacing, for example, or like the comedy. I'll touch on that and like some of the other things later in this video, but like just for me, that was some of the things that kind of made it a little bit harder to get through the series. So I'm definitely glad that if this is true, that it's going to be getting a new anime, because like this is a series that should just have more love, even from themselves. Like this anime does not have an English dub, and I mean like the world doesn't revolve around English somewhat, but they need to love themselves some more and give themselves a dub so more people can give this show a chance. But even in other fields, like you can't even find the openings or endings on YouTube anymore. Like you can find the music, but you can't find the actual video of like the opening or the ending on here. It doesn't exist. You can't even find most of the fights on here either. And a lot of the videos on this website that are dealing with Reborn are super old. It needs more love, it needs more attention. So getting a new anime is definitely going to help make Hitman Reborn more popular in the current times. But one thing I do want to cover is just how will the fans of the original series react? Now, part of me is like, could we just start from where the anime ended? Like do what Bleach did and just go straight into like the arc that ended after the future arc. I don't necessarily remember the name of the one that came after, and then there's another one past it. I don't remember the name of that one either, but like part of me is like, can we just continue from where the anime left off? Because we all went through that a while back, like the slow pacing. Can we just pick up where we left off? But honestly, the pros really outweigh the cons in that situation. Even with the existing anime right now, I've always been under the impression that like the animation was not really anything to write home about. Like I wasn't necessarily looking for a great animation when they're just talking or when they're doing like comedic things or whatever. But even in the fights, I felt like the animation could have just been better. So if Reborn is getting a new anime, I would really love to see some of these fights done well. And I can see that they tried it back then, but it could be better is what I'll say. So getting a new anime, I feel like a lot of us, there's a lot more to win than there is to lose from it. But either way, I feel like it's just a win-win, whether it starts from where the anime left off or whether it starts from the beginning. And one other thing too, are they going to change the voice actors for this anime? To be honest, like we don't have any idea. There's like literally no point in speculating like, oh well, I think they are, I don't think they will. It's just, how are you going to feel if they do change them? For me personally, I think the voice actors did a great job in their role. Like, there wasn't one voice I heard and I was like, oh, this sucks, or like, I wish they didn't have this person. I'm really not like that anyways, just to put that out there. Did not dislike any of the voices, but there is one person you cannot change, which is Squallow. Squallow's voice actor did him so much justice, like not even just with the speech, but like his like scream or like his signature yell that he has in the story. Squallow was great. You can't get rid of him, but it won't be the end of the world if he's not there. It's been close to 2 decades since the show aired, so like there's a chance that the original voice actors aren't going to come back. But another point I wanted to talk about is how will the new fans react to Reborn in this new anime? Like, will they like it? Will they dislike it? If you're a new gen fan, like of strictly new gen anime, I advise you to steer clear of Reborn, because I mean the fights are going to be cool, but the way they tell the story and the pacing and stuff, you're not built for that. Stay away from it. But for people that are fans of shows like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Gintama, Fairy Tail, like fans of other shonen anime that were airing at the same time as Reborn, like if you're a fan of that, I would say you'll be okay with watching this new potential made up adaptation that I'm just speaking of. But point being, I just wonder what the new fans are going to think of this potential Reborn remake, because of things like the comedy, for example. The thing about the comedy is that most people I've seen just actually hate the comedy. Like even the diehard fans talk about how the comedy was just like lackluster or boring, or like even to the extremes of making them drop the show and then come back and then drop it again and just keep doing that until they decided to stick with it. For me personally, I think the comedy is super overhated. Like, it's not that bad. It isn't necessarily great. I wouldn't even really say it's good comedy either, but to the point of like ruining the show, I disagree. Which some people were putting out this image like it was almost unwatchable. Even if I didn't laugh, I still was like, okay, well, I mean, the premise of that episode that I just watched was kind of interesting. But another thing, as well as the pacing of the manga, I can't exactly say, as someone who only watched the anime, I can't really say what the pacing was like in the manga, but I doubt that the manga pacing was like the best thing ever, because like of how long the future arc is in the manga. In the anime, that thing is like 130 episodes, but in the manga, it's already touching over 100 chapters, so it's a long arc. But for the most part, I think the pacing will be fixed, and it won't be as bad as it was in the original anime, especially during the future arc. Like, the future arc had the opening, they would have the recap, then they would end the episode early and then have like this little spin-off series to kill time, and then they would have the ending. Like, that should not exist within this new anime. I still think the pacing is going to be a little bit rough. Even if you cut out all that stuff I just mentioned and just combine like 2 episodes, it still didn't move the fastest. So I think the pacing will be better, but it's definitely going to be something that people are going to have to get over. And the only other thing I want to know about like how new people getting into the series would react to is like the controversies. And there isn't a lot of like controversy in Reborn, but no, there are definitely some questionable things that happen in there. Like, for example, there is a character named Iris in the show. If you do not remember who Iris is, let me remind you. Iris is a white woman with an afro that used her looks to convince doctors to grow black people in a lab so that she can enslave them, and she literally uses a whip to keep them under her control and to turn them into monsters to do her bidding. Like, I shouldn't have to explain why this is wicked behavior. So I just wonder, like, if the anime gets this far, how are they gonna cover that in 2020, 30 something, whenever this gets picked up? This already would not survive in 2025. This in 2030 something, I don't know how like these people are gonna react to Iris and her racism, but I would be lying if I say I'm not curious to see what people are gonna say about that when that does get animated, or if they even include that, because she is a core character in the story. Like, they might have to change what she was really about, but like they can't just get rid of her as a whole. So I wonder what that's gonna be like and how people are going to react to it when that gets covered. But the general treatment of women overall, the female cast overall, is something I'm curious how people are going to react to, because like, it's not the worst. Iris is just like, she's literally the only one that even crosses into that territory. But everyone else, it's like a mixed bag. You can get a good character like Lau. Lau is good. You can get Chrome. Chrome is a good character, but then there's also the other two, Haru, and then I forget her name, the girl with the orange hair that Suna liked. But you can get characters like them where, to be vague, because I don't want to spoil, but to be vague, the crew needed them in the time of their story, like in a place where honestly they didn't even have to be at. The main crew was like, oh, we need you to be here with us in the story. And you're thinking, oh, like what kind of role are you going to give them? Because they're not fighters. So what role are they going to play in this arc here? They literally only brought them so they could cook and clean after everybody, like do laundry, wash the dishes, make the food. You will mop the floors for us. They literally said like, that is your only role here. You don't serve any other purpose outside of that. And I mean, at one point, and like you do have to look at it from one point, like they are not fighters, and they did enjoy doing that kind of stuff, but it does feel kind of wrong to be like, that is your role. You will do everything that we don't want to do, and just let the boys handle the fighting outside of Chrome. But even then, Chrome, not getting into any spoilers, but yeah, Chrome also has some help there too. So like, I just wonder what people are going to think when they see stuff like that about the female cast. And once again, like the whole female cast isn't bad. It's just some others stand out more than others, and in a bad way. But the one last point I want to talk about here that I already kind of touched upon was the comedy. Will they cut it out entirely, or will they just like reduce the comedy? And it's like, oh, we'll pick and choose what episodes to keep and what episodes to get rid of. Me personally, I am a purist in the sense of like, tell the story how it was told. I would much rather you just do that instead of changing how it is, because I mean, like, it's not the same story at that point. Like, if you're gonna change stuff, then just don't do it. That's how I see it. But the world does not revolve around 20 Dos, which is this channel if you forgot the name of it. And whoever is in charge of this anime might want to think about the people that are going to be watching it, and like the things that they could probably afford to cut corners on and make it better as a viewing experience overall for the majority of viewers. But the thing with this is, even if the comedy is like the biggest complaint I've seen from the fan base itself, and not even haters, like the fan base itself, you can't get rid of it, because like some of these comedy episodes, a lot of these comedy episodes are building the personalities of these characters. Like even with Yamamoto, his biggest like gag is like thinking everything is a joke. Like their lives will literally be on the line, and he's like, oh, you guys, is this a joke? Like, oh, he just thinks everything is a joke. And you're getting that from the comedy episodes most. Like it kind of wears out, especially in the future arc. He's like, all right, this isn't a joke, like this is something serious. But point being, the comedy builds these characters, it builds their personalities, and it helps you connect with the character more than if it was just like the serious stuff. So will they cut it out, or will they reduce it? I mean, we literally know zero information about this anime and if it even exists, but I am under the belief that they will not do that. There's just too much to lose if they do end up going that route. But with all that being said, I just hope this is real. I really do just hope at the end of the day this is real. One, because I just talked about it for so long, and like it would kind of be crazy to just talk about something that doesn't even exist. But the real reason is that it deserves its respect in the modern world. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did. Comment down below what your thoughts are on like this potential anime, or even if you think it's not an anime that's coming, but like maybe a video game or something else. And make sure you subscribe on the way out. I set a goal for myself to hit 10K subscribers by the end of 2026. So it'd be really nice if you could just help me out there. And with that all out of the way, I hope to see you in the next one. Take care, God bless, and see you later.